evening, everybody. My name is Carl Alfred, and you are watching YLN.tv. This is a groundbreaking evening. We have news that you've been waiting for a long time. I've got the headsets on because I'm trying to get through on a radio show to give them the opportunity to break this along with me, but they're too busy talking about the symptoms. And the symptoms are everything that you see going around you right now. It's flailing away. That's what we're doing, is flailing away. And nothing that we're doing is going to have any effect until you get a hold of the information that I'm going to give you here. The video above this one right here has information in it that you're going to want to take a look at. The second page of this website has the actual documentation that proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that we are run by corporations. And it names the corporations. And it shows something that you may or may not be willing to look at and grasp, but it shows that we, you and me, yeah, we are the collateral. The flesh and blood people of the United States, we're chattel. Everything that you see here, everything at your house, doesn't belong to you. It belongs to the corporation. Or so they would have you believe. And as everybody plays around the fringe, we finally got in touch with the people who actually are doing the work. By accident, a couple of days ago, I was given the documents that you'll find on the second page of the website. First off, there are over 350 different meanings ascribed legally to the four words United States of America. And all of the above fall into the pike. There is no use even discussing it unless you know the context in which the words are being used. But yes, the United States of America, capital U, capital S, capital A, is a corporation, a religious non-profit, chartered by the Roman Catholic Church, no less, in Delaware. When used in this context, it may appear in all capital letters, which is one means used to identify corporations. Also, you want to pay attention to the word "the" and how it appears, as that often gives the best indication of the nature of the entity being discussed. And there's a lot more. I've been in contact, or rather my friend Arnie has been in contact with Anna out in Alaska. Anna has been working this for many years. Let's see, since '95, so that's 19. Ooh. And you talk about a patriot. She and the people that she's affiliated with have suffered beyond anything you can imagine in order to bring to you what I'm giving you here today. So here we go. She says there's a lot more where that came from. I have been working this problem for 35 years. So anytime people need information about a topic, let me know. I will either know the answer or someone else in my circle of friends will have it written on their knuckles. The whole topic you are discussing is crucial to understanding what we are dealing with. So let's take a moment and deconstruct it some more. What we were talking about was those UCC filings that I've got on my website. There's the United States of America, that's with a small u, that the Republic, notice the small u on United, that's the way the founders designated it, and it appears on the original equity contract equity contract known as the Constitution for the United States of America. Note the use of the preposition for, not of, as well as the small u on United. Then there is the federal corporation, which is the business entity responsible for providing the 19 enumerated governmental services that the original states contracted for. That has gone by various names. The first unincorporated company formed by Ben Franklin was called the Company, or the United States, and it operated from 1754 to 1863 when it was bankrupted by Lincoln. Please note that this was a commercial governmental services company that also functioned as a trust management organization due to the two-part nature of the original Constitution. The Constitution is both a national trust indenture, preamble to the Bill of Rights, and a commercial services agreement, the 19 enumerated services the federal government was supposed to provide in common for the states. Yeah, we thought we were being clever by uncovering those documents. They're way ahead of us. They're already filing claims right now. And you can too, actually. You can too. Let's see here. But there's just so much here that this Anna person has put forward that you're going to have to listen to this. Her name is Anna Maria Riesinger out of Alaska. In '63, that's when we went through the bankruptcy. And she says, then we went through bankruptcy, reorganization, euphemistically called Reconstruction, after the Civil War, and a new trust management organization and governmental services corporation was organized, which prohibited its corporate articles, published its corporate articles as the Constitution of the United States of America. Note that the is not part of the name of this document, and that it is not capitalized like the original Constitution, that the U in United is capitalized, and that it uses the preposition of instead of the word for. When you see any differences like this in legal documents, it indicates that it is totally different document. In this case, it is a document peculiar to that new corporation that was formed in the District of Columbia, calling itself the United States of America Incorporated. And that was in quotes, United States of America. Lowercase letters except for the U, S, and A. This version functioned from 1871 to 1933, when it was bankrupted by FDR. Again, we went through bankruptcy, reorganization, only this time it lasted 80 years, from 1933 to 2013. During that time, the governmental services contract was fulfilled from 1944 onward by the United States Corporation, doing business as the International Monetary Fund, doing business as the United States, all of those in all capital letters, Incorporated. Both the International Monetary Fund and its United States subsidiary are chartered in France. Since the bankruptcy of the United States of America finally ended, the rats have set up a new Federal Reserve, all capital letters, under United Nations, all capital letters, corporation auspices to replace the old Federal Reserve. And they are preparing to bankrupt the IMF subsidiary, doing business as the United States. Then the new Federal Reserve will step in and take over the governmental services contract, and the IMF version of United States will go into bankruptcy reorganization. It's a con game. In other words, these two giant banking cartels both now operated by the United Nations Corporation, whose bankruptcy protection is a methodical, cyclic way. There are a lot of other games being played with the semantic deceit based on similar names, but before we leave the topic of the name United States of America, everyone should be aware that there are two nations calling themselves United States of America. There is the United States of America, composed of now 50 states of the Union, and otherwise known as the United States of America Major. Now this one has "the" is capitalized, United is capitalized, States and America are both capitalized, the rest lowercase. And there is the United States of America Minor, and that one has "the" uncapitalized, composed of the 7 insular states more commonly thought of as federal territories and possessions: Guam, Puerto Rico, the state of New Columbia, that is in D.C., American Samoa, et alia. The United States of America Major is populated by American state citizens. The United States of America Minor is populated by U.S. citizens. American state citizens have natural and unalienable rights. U.S. citizens have only the civil rights that the U.S. Congress feels like granting them. Are you beginning to see the depth and breadth and the width of the gigantic fraud? That's the reason why you have been enslaved. How many times have you checked the box ignorantly saying that yes, you are a U.S. citizen? Sure. Share as far and wide as possible this information, because this is it. The more people who know the truth and have the detail, the better. Then the rats can't lead us around by the nose and baffle us with BS. That said, we are dealing with a nest of criminals. It started with the banks and promptly infested both lawyers and the politicians. She says, I think the ones most vulnerable to confrontation are the politicians, and the politicians can then be used to whip and beat both lawyers and bankers, who have hitherto surreptitiously hidden behind their pals in the various legislatures. All the members of the state legislatures need to be forced to take their public oath of office and to swear that they will operate only within that office for the term of their service. What they are doing now is operating as officers of privately owned and operated corporations, merely calling themselves the state of a franchise of the old Federal Reserve Corporation doing business as the United States of America Incorporated, or the state of, all capital letters, a franchise of the International Monetary Fund doing business as the United States, all caps, while pretending to be serving the public interest and serving the public office. They aren't. So we start here. Go after your state legislatures and demand to know what kind of state they are running and whether they are occupying public office exclusively, or if they are impersonating public officials while acting in fact as officers of a franchise of a foreign for-profit governmental services corporation. Let them have it, full bore. Get people educated and go for it. These sneaks have been lining their pockets with public resources for decades. And she goes on to say, I don't care. This is nothing compared to what I've done to the rats over the years. I haven't paid a penny of income tax in 20 years, have closed down foreclosures in 13 states, issued protection orders to the Joint Chiefs. I don't think explaining the misuses of the word United States of America is anything new or worse. Didn't see this all immediately. Please see the last item in the answers section of the attached final judgment and civil orders document. And folks, you can find that at the scannedretina.com website. So it'll be scanned-retina.com/2015-PM-PDT. That's Paul David Tom /. You should be able to just go to the scannedretina.com and do a search for Anna or for nothing to discuss here, something like that, and that'll put you on this page. But it's everything you've been waiting for. So she goes on, the Roman Catholic Church is implicated in this mess up to its eyeballs, and nobody, including the Pope, is attempting to deny it. It was the 1845 Treaty of Verona between the then Pope and the British monarch agreeing to undermine the American government that they were supposed to be trustees for that began this whole mess. It is important for everyone to understand that however inspired the origins of the church may be, the actual institution is full of human faults and frailties and under constant and purposeful assault from the Crown Temple. The Crown Temple worships Satan, and one of its avowed goals is to infiltrate the church and commandeer it as much as the United States of America, minor, has attempted to steal the identity and commandeer the resources of the United States of America, major. As we explain in the final judgment and civil orders, there are times when undercover agents of the Crown Temple gain prominence in the church, which results in all sorts of evil and skullduggery being committed in the name of the church. So much civil, illicit trading in arms, drugs, prostitutes, tobacco, etc., has been carried on by the CIA in the name of America. In approaching this current situation, it is neither helpful nor appropriate to speak in generalities of the church is bad or America is good, kind, because we are now very thankful to the last two popes, Benedict and Francis, who have risked their lives and who continue to risk their lives to try to correct the errors and deceit of predecessors. In the same way, it is easily seen that much of what has been done in the name of America in recent years has been thinly veiled, naked greed, self-interest, and carnally unleashed on the rest of the world. It would be easy to blame the church for not recognizing the fraud being promulgated in its name, but it is rather recent development that we have become aware of being practiced against us in our name. So instead of blaming, she suggests we apply the goodwill test. When you see people of whatever race, creed, political party, or other group trying their best to achieve justice and peace, just skip the labels and pay attention to what they do and what they try to do, instead of being deceived by propaganda devices designed to divide and conquer us. I know the question to ask is, well, this has to do with Randy Dew, who's in prison up in Leavenworth, and Arnie was asking her about him. So her response was this. Randy was taken from his house in Pelham, Georgia, which is in the southwest corner, and literally kidnapped up to Nebraska. Farther down in the website here, you'll see how I was up there with Joaquin Demareta as we attempted to get contact with him and possibly even secure his release. Well, we weren't able to secure the release, but we were able to come back with documentation we thought was extremely important. He's still in prison as we speak, but right now we have a lot of hope. So Anna addresses that. She says, I know the question to ask the U.S. Marshals. Ask them what office they are acting. In what office are they are acting? Are they acting as U.S. Marshals, all capital letters, that is mercenaries of the International Monetary Fund doing business as the United States, all capitals, a French commercial corporation? Or as U.S. Marshals, only the M in Marshals is capitalized, that is mercenaries of the Federal Reserve, all caps, doing business as the United States of America, all capital letters? Or as U.S. Marshals, no capital letters, constitutional officers employed to protect the U.S. mail. That's their charter, to protect the U.S. mail. She goes on. You might inform them that if they are operating on our soil in either of the two corporate capacities, they are acting illegally, and that they don't have permission to have egress on state soil when they are acting as officers serving private corporations. Only when they are pursuing their lawful duties as constitutionally sworn officers protecting the U.S. mail. Isn't that a hoot? Constitutionally sworn officers protecting the U.S. mail. So was Randy on U.S., that is, federal soil when they apprehended him? Do the charges against him have anything to do with mail fraud? If not, then the U.S. Marshals, both of the foreign entities, are subject to citizen's arrest. And all you American state citizens should be looking up the exact words to use for a citizen's arrest in your state. And then, next time one of these U.S. Marshals leaves the courthouse or wherever they are penned up, arrest one of them. She says it seems simple enough to me. They are acting as outlaws on state soil, impersonating constitutional officers when they are acting in private capacity. Impersonating an officer is more than grounds for a citizen's arrest. Inform the local district court that the only federal officers who have free egress on state land are the U.S. Marshals, all lowercase, when in pursuit of their duty to protect the mail. When they are doing anything else, and particularly when they are acting as officers of corporate entities, either the Federal Reserve doing business as the United States of America or the International Monetary Fund doing business as the United States, all caps, either one, they have no law enforcement office on state soil. And when they arrest someone, as they have arrested Randy, they are guilty of kidnapping and false arrest. Start holding their feet to the fire. Explain that they don't have the powers they think they have. When they are acting as employees of either the United States of America, all caps, Incorporated, or the United States Incorporated, again all caps, they have all the authority of Ronald McDonald on state soil. That is, they have no business using their uniforms and badges and nightsticks on American state soil when they are involved in any activity except guarding the mail, period. Give the rats a subpoena through the U.S. District Court and a show cause order. That should get them scurrying. Actually, since Obama is an officer of a private corporation and does not answer to the U.S. Congress, all caps, in that capacity, what really needs to be done to get rid of him, okay? What really needs to be done to get rid of him is to bring suit against his actual employer, the International Monetary Fund. That would get their attention. Running around begging the members of Congress to act gets you nowhere, because even if they wanted to impeach him, they gave away 97% of their power during the Roosevelt administration. 97%. Whew. She goes on, Arnie had made a statement that we don't have a lawful government. And in the context of all the corporate entities running around. And she says, wait a minute, Arnie, we do have a lawful government. And this is the key. Our forefathers vested the entire civil government in each and every one of us.